This is Visitor's Book, and I'm Maija, your host. In this program, we're going to be meeting with diplomats and foreigners who are here in Pakistan, and we're going to find out what they really think about the country. So let's go. So today we're here at Margala Park, and we're here to meet with Alex Chacon, an American travel vlogger. So let's go find him. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So, you've been here in Pakistan for about a month now, right?
Yeah, it's been a month.
Okay, so what made you decide to come here? Like, it's quite an unusual choice for a travel destination, right?
Yeah, Pakistan is not exactly the Bali of the world. It's not exactly London.
Exactly.
It's not like this giant destination where people are going. And that's precisely why I chose to come, because I believe from what I saw it's a really interesting, unique location that has yet to be explored. And I'm really excited as a YouTube content creator and a social media influencer to be able to come here and showcase what I think is an incredible part of the world that is going through a transition period that is basically just welcoming all tourists of all walks of life, in a very open way to come visit and explore Pakistan.
Yeah. Did you hear from like a friend who had been to Pakistan, or you just decided like, okay, Pakistan, that's where I want to go?
So, as a traveler that travels full-time every day of the year, you have to wait for opportunities to come at you. And what's happened recently in Pakistan is there's been a lot of initiatives by the government, a lot of initiatives by private sector companies that have been investing in tourism. And that's exactly how I got here, is there was a private company called CPIC, which is doing a lot of land development, a lot of construction here around Islamabad. And they are trying to help promote the image of Pakistan. So they bring people like myself and my colleagues and other influencers from around the world to show people that this is a place that you can visit. It's a place that is relatively safe and somewhere where business and investments should consider coming.
Okay. Did it take a lot of convincing to get you to come here?
No, I love, it's very easy to get me to go somewhere, to be honest.
I'm sure.
There's nowhere where I really won't go. So.
Okay, that's cool. And, but I think still in the West, people have kind of this image that Pakistan is a dangerous country and, like people don't really want to come here. Do you think that's starting to change a little bit though, with all these travel bloggers such as yourself coming here and sharing content?
Yeah, just like when magazines do something every year, they say the best location to travel to this year, the best thing to go this year. Things are always changing in the international community.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen so far is the fact that private companies like CPIC are investing in just the image of Pakistan. The government is also opening up visas and a new website to help people come in a lot easier. I definitely think there's a transition for a lot of efforts being put towards visiting Pakistan.
What do you think was the most surprising thing about Pakistan when you first got here?
So you always hear the most valuable asset, I think, is the energy of people. And I think Pakistan has exactly that. And I was told how humbling and welcoming people are, but I had no idea it was going to be this welcoming.
Really?
Just the way people treat you, the way it's hard to pay for a meal. People see you on the street and they want to pay for your tea or talk to you or just have a moment with you. And I never expected that much of an openness from people trying to just connect with you and say, welcome to my country. I don't know you, but I've seen you here at the coffee shop a few times. Can I buy your coffee?
Oh, that's so nice.
That wanting to connect is just something I didn't quite expect to this extreme.
Yeah. What kind of an image did you have of the country before you came here?
I always have two different images. I have the image which is, I always think like a general tourist or a general public would think of how they see a certain place because of the news, because of the internet, because of influences. So I always have that in mind because that's the audience I have to create content for, like on my YouTube channel, right? And I have the other perspective of my experience of saying, well, I've heard people that have been there, everything's been fine, things aren't always what they seem. So, trying to create content for my Instagram or my YouTube, I always have to be conscious that you have to find a balance between my extreme of knowing what a place actually is and being able to deliver that in such a way that meets the audience's needs and expectations. So, you hear not the good parts, but I know I've heard a lot of good parts as well. So the not so good parts and the good parts, and you basically have to just make sure that you change perceptions of what those two are.
Exactly. And it's, like, it's funny, people like tend to think of places in a very black and white way, like, and it's like these bad things can actually coexist with like the good stuff as well.
Anything can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
And people, the biggest question you get when you're searching on the internet is this place safe?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the number one thing you get searched. And honestly, I've never, in 70 countries I've been to in the last 7 years, I've never had an issue anywhere except in Paris.
Right.
Which you think would be an okay place to go.
Exactly.
But I've been to really more dangerous places. Not an issue, not a problem.
Yeah. You're about to leave soon, right? Like, how much time do you have left, actually?
Yeah, sadly, the visa situation is for 30 days.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so we want to, if there's anything I can say, if anyone from the government is watching this, make sure you let us stay longer, because people stay here for a few days and they end up wanting to stay for months. So
exactly.
It'd be great to see improve.
Yeah. Where have you been so far? Like, what places have you managed to see?
I've been able to see a little bit of everything. Been Karachi, been Islamabad, been Peshawar, been to Kalam, Swat,
Wow.
and Lahore.
Great. Were there any places that you wanted to still visit, but you won't have time now?
Yeah, so in this month it's kind of cold and the roads are kind of closed to go all the way north to Hunza. So that is certainly on my things to do next year.
Okay, so you're planning on coming back then?
It's a great place, and I definitely see a lot of potential, and I would love the opportunity to continue showcasing this beautiful area of Earth to the rest of the world, because I think there's so much potential that people don't know about it, and that's, again, changing perceptions of what it actually is.
Yeah. And what would you say was the best place that you visited in Pakistan so far?
I wouldn't say it's a place. I would say that I have remembered the most of experiences, and that is the experience of the people. I can't, everybody says it, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's just the people, or just
it really is.
The reason you come is for the people.
And the interesting thing about you is that you travel everywhere on a motorbike, right?
I usually like to do road trips, yeah. So whether it be a car, a motorcycle, I mean, you can obviously see my website. I love motorcycles. I think that's a really great way to travel. Because for instance, I would love to come back and travel on the motorcycle because people here travel mostly by bikes. And that's the most incredible way to connect with a location, people, and experience, and be able to tell people around the world via social media that, how cool and how amazing is it just being a normal person living here, and you coming as a tourist is just part of that experience of integrating yourself with the experience of being in Pakistan. Yeah.
And did you travel by motorbike this time around?
No, unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm coming back.
Next time.
I had to check it out first, make sure it was good. Now we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, you think it's going to be easy here?
Getting the bike is always, getting as a tourist, we like different bikes. We like bigger bikes. The bikes here are fine, but I would like to get a more professional bike.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that just takes some resources.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about the road situation up north, but it could be something.
Yeah, it's always
exploring.
The thing as a content creator is I have to carry like 15 kilos of gear and then take 5 kilos of stuff, of clothes and stuff. So
that's crazy.
I need a bike that can carry that safely and everything. So that's just, if you ever see my Instagram or my YouTube, you can just search Alex Chacon. You'll see all the wonderful stuff I do with all this great equipment.
Yeah. And do you usually travel alone, or do you have like other travel vloggers or bloggers going with you, or maybe some locals?
So sometimes you have a group of people. So it's other bloggers, other Instagrammers, other filmmakers like myself. It just depends on the project. So in this case, I was able to travel with a group of people, fellow colleagues, friends of mine that also do social media. And it's a great experience because you get to kind of travel as a group and experience things as a group. And it's a little different than just doing it alone, which is something I usually do. Yeah. Yeah, so it's nice to have a group of people, which was this experience. Okay, so you usually like to travel on your own. Why is that? With a group of people, you get a lot of attention, especially here in Pakistan. People have been very nice, so they, in other parts of the world, people just want to stop you, take pictures with you, selfie with you. But here, people are so respectful and nice, but they still ask you, but in a respectable way. Yeah. So when you're a group of people, it creates mayhem. So as a filmmaker, as a photographer, in order to kind of show the things you want to show through your eyes, you need your own time, your own space, and you don't want these groups of people hovering around you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love traveling alone because it gives me the freedom to kind of do what I want, where I want, and not cause too much of an attention.
Yeah, and then you don't have like all these people saying like, no, we should do it like this, no, we should go over here. You can just do whatever you want.
Best thing about being a social media influencer is you have complete creative freedom because people already like you for what you do. It's no longer about trying to create something for a television station or for a brand or somebody who says it needs to be like this. The best thing about our generation is that it's the first time that our passions can become a job. And if your passion is traveling, sharing an experience with people, or having a moment in a different place of the world and share that with your family and friends back home, you can now make that a professional job. And that's what I'm doing.
Exactly. What would you say has been your most memorable experience in Pakistan so far?
Hard to pick one. That's like a question you ask, if you ask a mother if she had 10 kids, which one does she love the most? There's so many wonderful things about Pakistan. But I think just walking through the storytellers market in Peshawar, people were just so curious about what we were doing there, and we were handed, fresh roti, and we were handed just wonderful sugar delights, and people were just genuinely very intrigued of having foreigners walk into these very small alleyways that otherwise most foreigners don't go to.
Exactly.
So just giving these things and trying to pay them, and they said, no, welcome to Pakistan, welcome. People wouldn't take our money. And that's a great video I would love to produce, is saying how expensive is Pakistan, and in my case it's Pakistan's free in a sense, because people just want to give you a little bit of what they have to make sure you have a good positive experience.
Yeah, and you mentioned that it was exactly this experience, like the people of Pakistan, that made your experience so surprising and memorable. Would you say that this is exactly why people find Pakistan so fascinating, that the real Pakistan, or so-called real Pakistan, is so different from what they expect?
Yeah, definitely. I think that people make a place, because you can be in the most beautiful, physically, just aesthetically looking, most Instagrammable spot in the world or something. And if the people are rude and and they're not nice, and just it really affects your experience as a foreigner or as a traveler or a tourist. So yeah, definitely, I can't speak enough good things about my personal experience with the people, other people's personal experience, my friends' personal experience, and if you log into to any of my social media handles, you'll see a lot of stories with people of just how incredible just random strangers can be.
Yeah, and what do you think, like what else needs to be improved or changed so that Pakistan becomes becomes a tourist hotspot?
Definitely what's happening with me. And I really, a private company, a private corporation funded my travels and the travels of 7-8 other people to come here to help them in the expansion in commerce and industry within Pakistan. It wasn't the government.
Yeah.
So what I would love to see is the government take the same initiative, which they have to some extent. They have programs that are running through the, not the tourism board, but you have a few other entities that are investing money. But I really love to see a more collaborative effort from the government in general, from all these different sectors of the government working together with one idea and just supporting each other in their projects, and the other one support, instead of it being very separated and nobody really knowing what's going on, and money being not lost, but they don't know where it's going, and somebody's investing in this and that, and say, the future is social media. The future is, people like me, my channels, my websites, people watch that, there's an audience that watches 14 million views on one of my videos sometimes. And it's just, those are the people that want to come. So I think there's a better, more connected effort from everybody in the interior of Pakistan that'll only help getting people from the exterior into Pakistan.
And you really think Pakistan has the potential of becoming like a tourist hotspot?
Yeah, definitely. It's up and coming. And a very good friend of mine who was also in this program, Tom Grant, also said that it's like a bubble waiting to burst. And I believe it's the same thing.
You've traveled quite a lot in the region as well. You've been to India several times. You've been to Nepal. How was the experience different in those countries?
So experiencing different countries compared to Pakistan. Well, I think the entire region, just because of its history, is so similar.
It is,
but also very different. These regions really strive to differentiate themselves from one another for whatever reason they want to do. But you know what? There's one thing that's a good theme through all these places. It's just it's the food. Yeah. Food's incredible throughout all these places. just the wonderful nature that exists through the Himalayas that runs through all these countries.
Exactly.
Also very similar. So what I really love of being able to say, you know, India this, Nepal this, Pakistan this, is that, you know, the mountains run through the core of these countries. And it's really great that within the Pakistani culture, the Indian culture, the Nepalese culture, there's always these like road trips, these epic motorcycle road trips that they do. And what's interesting is that they may think it's different, but it's the same kind of road trip. It's you go from your home, you jump on the motorcycle, it's this great romantic idea of what's happening. You go to the same mountains with almost the same looking peaks and the same elevation. So all these cultures can be connected by this love for the outdoors, this love of the road, of the people, of the cuisine. So all those very different, and you find very different things about people, how they think and, you know, how they act towards you. I think the spine of the Himalayas is the heart of this entire region, and it exists in every single person I've met in these countries.
Have you gone hiking in Nepal, in the mountains?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's good. From what I've seen in pictures for Pakistan, it's very similar.
Yeah, it
Funny
is.
enough.
It looks very similar.
It's just obviously different geographic details that are different.
Yeah.
But in the essence of the feeling, the smell of the air, yes, it's
You could be in the same place.
in the same place. You wouldn't even know it.
But yeah, what do you think? Should we go take a little walk around the park?
Yeah, I'd be delighted.
All right. We're going to take a short break. I'll see you when we come back. Welcome back. I'm here with an American travel vlogger, Alex Chacon, and let's go take a walk.
All right.
So, can you tell me how you first got into this travel vlogging thing? How did you get started with that?
So 7 years ago, I was in medical school. I was going to become a doctor, and much like my Mexican parents, although I was born in the United States, I have Mexican roots. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, a lawyer, something as much as the Pakistani parents want you to be, right? Yeah. And I was going to become a doctor, and I decided that I needed a break because I've been studying for so many years, and I just said, okay, it's time to see the world. So then I sold everything I had, my car, my TV, my clothes. I jumped on the motorcycle and I drove from Alaska to Argentina in 500 days across 23 countries. And that's where my blogging began, which became photography, which then became video making and vlogging, which you can see on my YouTube channel now.
So 500 days, I mean, that's a year and a half, right? You were on the road.
That's right, yeah.
How many countries did you travel through again?
Over 23 countries.
Wow, so the US, Mexico,
North America, Central America, and South America.
Yeah, wow, that must have been an amazing experience.
Yeah, it changed my life because it kind of allowed me to see the world through a different set of eyes. And I realized that it's not always what it seems, and it allowed me to appreciate and value experiences rather than things.
Wow, and what would you say inspired you? Like you said, you needed a break, but was there something else like that made you want to see the world?
You know, it was a personal goal because, you know, being a doctor, I always wanted to help people, contribute to people's lives, and I said, I need something for myself. So I did it for myself, and then after about 2.5 years of doing this by myself, I made a video online. You can see it on my YouTube channel, just search Alex Chacon. And it's called the 3-year epic selfie. And this video got over 200 million views worldwide.
Wow.
So that's when I said, wow, what I did what I enjoyed was now able to change people, inspire people, and I connected with more people in one video than I ever would have been able to do as a doctor my whole life.
What gave you the idea of making this video?
You know, everybody makes travel videos. So I thought, how do I make mine? I know I'm going to travel, so I said, how do I make something I can keep the rest of my life, show my kids, show my family? How do I sum up 500 days or 3 years of travel into one 2-minute video?
Yeah.
And this is just my gift to myself for everything I did, and this is just what I show people all the time.
So you weren't even necessarily planning on having it go viral or anything like that, it just happened?
The video for me was just for me to show my friends and family, because everybody asked me, wow, tell me about your 3 years journey, and it's impossible to just sit there for an hour or two and tell. I'd rather just show a 2-minute video and people go like, wow, and I get no more questions after that.
What was so special about that video? What do you think?
This video was so special because I came up with a technique that had never been done before. So back in 2011, when I started filming it, selfie poles weren't a thing. So I had to make and construct my own selfie pole. I had to put a camera on the stick, and I did this 360 video. That's why I call it the 360, and I call it 360 degrees around the world. So basically I was doing this thing and I was turning around, and it just, nobody had ever done that before. So in 2014, when I released it, it was the year of the selfie. It was the most searched term on the internet, and I just got really lucky that that term made it explode.
Wow. And you were also traveling on a very low budget, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I sold everything I had, including my car, my TV, my clothes, everything I had. And I was eating canned beans. I was drinking milk on the side of the road. I was camping everywhere. I was camping at supermarkets, on asphalt, on the roads. So whatever it took, I was only spending money on fuel and food, and sometimes camping locations for national parks.
That must not have been easy always.
No, when you're younger, if your passion is so strong, you can make great things happen. But it was the most difficult time in my life, but also the most rewarding time in my life at the same time.
Sure. And were you initially actually planning on going back to a career as a doctor, or you were like, okay, I don't want to do that, I just want to travel for the rest of my life? Yeah,
so the plan was to return back. It was plan B. I never had a plan A. But I said, worst comes to worst, I come back, I be a doctor, I do the thing that my parents always want me to do. Because the Mexican parents are just like the Pakistani parents. If they get mad at you, they get their sandal and they start hitting, what are you doing, what are you thinking? Here, I think they use coat hangers. So,
oh my God.
So my upbringing was just the same way a Pakistani upbringing is. So I had always kept that just in case. But little did I know that my passion, these videos and what I was doing, was making a bigger change and a bigger difference for people around me, but that it would create a career for me later on. So I decided to continue this path of adventure. Yeah,
so you were so inspired by those over 500 days on the road that you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah, the work, the exposure, the interviews, the fame, my 10 minutes of fame came just very naturally. So I just let life and the universe's energy kind of pushed me towards a way, and this is the way it pushed me.
So you went with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. But your first trip was actually already when you were 17, like a bigger, longer trip.
Yeah, so my very first travels were, again, on the motorcycle at 17 years old. I was in high school in the United States, and I drove my motorcycle all over the United States for 30 days. And I drove, I think, like 40 to 50,000 kilometers in 30 days.
Wow.
It was just an adventure of seeing how far I could go, what I could see as fast as possible since I had no money.
Yeah, wow. And so you've always been very adventurous then, I think.
Yeah, I love adventure. I love the things that are not done very often and that just give you this excitement in life. And whether that's coming to Pakistan and riding a motorbike here, or jumping on a moto taxi here, or trying some really exotic food, or meeting some very interesting people. Adventure is always at the core of what I do.
Exactly. You want to experience new things and places.
Yeah, that's the excitement about life. It's the spice of life.
Yeah, because otherwise if you think about just what your life would be back home, it would be so different, right? If you had never taken that trip.
Life back home would be sitting in an office 5-6 days a week, telling people the same thing you tell them every week is eat healthy, take this medicine, and have a good day. So here it's a little different. Things are interesting. I'm here talking to you. I'm talking to the people of Pakistan, and being able to share wonderful memories and experiences with the rest of the world.
Exactly. And I often hear this being said that people who travel, people who want to work in, let's say, unusual countries, that they're often running away from something back home. Do you think that's true?
I think there's 3 types of travelers. There's the tourist, there's the traveler, and then there's the wanderer.
Yeah.
So I think the tourists bring things back. The wanderers are the ones that are lost and really don't know what they're doing, and then the travelers are the ones who bring back experiences like myself.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that yes, those types of people exist. I am not one of them, and I think a lot of our generation is not the wonder anymore. We're the people who seek experiences. We're the traveler. We're not the tourist that brings a lot of things back home. We're the ones who want the experience, not the thing. So I think it's all, it's all there.
Yeah.
There's so many different types of people out there.
Yeah, that's true. But I do also think there's some truth to that we're maybe running away from like the expectations back home of what a normal life should be like, such as like maybe in your case, your parents wanted you to be a doctor, you didn't want to do that.
Yeah, mine was a break.
Yeah.
Mine was an exploration of my personal self, not my professional life.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think a lot of people do run away from their problems, but people run away through their problems through, drugs or a career or, sometimes not good things.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to go find yourself, if you're lost, travel is not a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
It'll teach you so much about yourself.
Exactly.
And you'll come back with a new perspective, you'll be rested, and you might pursue life in a much more different avenue.
What does your family think about your lifestyle now? Are they happy?
So the hardest thing for me was my family, was my parents being okay with what I was doing initially at the very beginning. They were not okay with it. They were my biggest obstacle.
Oh, yeah.
But now, since they saw me have success, that I was safe, they're now my biggest fans. So just like with anything you do in life, especially for people here in Pakistan, your family is not always going to understand what you're doing. Because, just 7 years ago, there wasn't a career in digital media, in social media. Like it wasn't something that people thought you can make money at.
Exactly.
But now, I think people have a lot less of a more difficult time because now parents and people understand that this is the future. I'm here because I am promoting tourism in Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is now a viable way to live life and make money.
That's great. So then you managed to convince your family that this is a good career choice.
Yeah, now they're happy. They've seen the success, so they're pretty okay with it now.
Great. But let's talk a little bit more about the content that you produce. I mean, you have so many followers and you got them pretty quickly, right? Like just through this one video that you shared, the epic selfie video. And we already talked about that video, but like, what do you think it is about the content that you create that makes so many people follow you and your work and your travels?
Yeah, so my content's different. Like I have a website called the Modern Moto Diaries. I have another website called conquertheworld.com.
Okay.
I have my YouTube channel, which is my name, Alex Chacon. I have my Instagram, same thing, Alex Chacon, and Facebook. And each one is so different. And I think people follow me because in each platform, if you want these beautiful cinematic travel videos, you have my YouTube. If you want more personable, me talking to the camera, like I can bust my phone out right now and say, hey guys, we're on this great interview and this is what we're doing. They can find that on Instagram.
Yeah.
If they want kind of short pictures and something fast, that's Facebook. So the best thing I think people like about me is it's so diverse. It kind of fits everybody. And my content is always family friendly. It's always positive. You'll see some negative stuff. You'll see some of the troubles I have traveling. It's not just flowers and unicorns and mystical creatures and all happy. It's a struggle. It's really, that's the adventure of life. So I think people really engage with me because I tell it how it is. I don't lie. I don't try to make it seem something it's not. And people will genuinely feel like they're the ones with me on that adventure. People want to see what I'm seeing, what I'm looking at, what I'm experiencing. So I think people enjoy me because of just my very direct nature of telling it how it is and laughing at the difficulties and crying at the happiness.
So your website, or one of them, is called the Modern Motorcycle Diaries, where you somehow inspired by Che Guevara's travels?
Yeah, everybody always tells me that. I never watched or knew anything about him before I did my first trip. I did the entire trip for 500 days. Then on the flight back home, I saw the movie for the first time. Really? And it was interesting to learn. But no, the Modern Motorcycle Diaries was just my attempt at living my life the way I wanted it to and experiencing the world the way I wanted it to. And it just happened to coincide with Che Guevara.
So you've probably already been publishing some photos on Instagram from Pakistan and so on and so forth, but what about the videos? What kind of content are you planning on publishing from here? So
I already have Instagram stories every single day, the day I'm doing it. You can find that on my Instagram, just search Alex Chacon. Then the YouTube videos are coming out, the Facebook videos are coming out. I have great titles like, 5 Things to Do in Lahore, to the street markets of Peshawar, to what is Swat Valley. The Balochistan near Karachi.
Right, you went to Balochistan as well. That's so
also
fascinating.
Rani Kut Fort. That title for that video is like the Great Wall of Pakistan, because it's amazing how similar it looks to the Great Wall of China, and nobody knows it's really here. It's a very obscure and unknown destination here in Pakistan. So really excited to get those out and show the world what Pakistan has to offer.
So that's so cool you got to go to Balochistan. I mean, that's a region not a lot of foreigners get to go to. How was that?
Gord, if you go to my Instagram right now, today I uploaded a video, small drone video of me flying around the Princess of Hope. And
which is?
Princess of Hope is like a sandstone structure that was named by the famous actress Angelina Jolie. So it's just in the middle of this barren landscape that you would not expect it to be there, but it's a giant pillar. It's beautiful, and through the view of a drone, it sparked so many views and so much interest, and I got so many emails, and I thought, some interviews, and some people found me a certain way. So it's incredible just how when somebody sees something so unique, how impactful that can be for a country, a person, or a place.
Like, I had never heard about that place, and I've been here for years.
Yeah, so there you go.
Imagine, and I don't think a lot of Pakistanis know about it either.
Yeah, and that gives me so much happiness because I have done my job. I have given you something to think about or engage with or want to go somewhere that you otherwise may have never known about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you got a lot of Pakistani followers after you came here and you started publishing content from Pakistan, right?
It's in the beginning phases right now.
Okay.
Not as much as you think. So if anybody's watching this and they haven't followed me, be sure to do so.
They will now.
Because we're going to have some amazing content out there, and you guys are going to love it.
And it's so interesting, you also got to go to Swat Valley. How was that? Did you like it there?
Yeah, so Swat Valley is a very interesting place because it has so much history.
Yeah.
It's not just a beautiful Switzerland of Pakistan.
Wow, I can't wait to see your content from there. Sounds amazing. So are you getting hungry?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so maybe we should find somewhere to get some desi food.
Let's go.
We're going to take a short break. I'll see you in a little while. Welcome back. I'm here at Kosar Market with an American travel vlogger, Alex Chacon. So, should we dig in?
Let's dig in.
Yeah. What did you get again? Chicken chili dry or something?
Yeah, I think that's what I got. Yeah.
Are you a fan of Asian food?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan of all food.
Really?
Yeah, there's really not something I won't eat.
Okay.
I've tried the weirdest things in the world. I've tried the most delicious things in the world. And it's good food.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing that you tried here in Pakistan?
Oh man, I think the chicken. I had this chicken with spinach sauce the other day. That was amazing. Even just the paratha is real good, and the fresh roti as well. It's just being pulled out of the oven and just given to you in your hands as it's still steaming warm. That's just it was really good. So
that sounds like you've gotten to eat at some kind of street food joints or stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had the nice restaurants, but also the very, very street local stuff.
Yeah? Where did you try that? In Peshawar or Lahore?
No, this was in Karachi, just the really local street food scene in Karachi.
Oh, that's really cool. Nice. And what do you think about the restaurant scene in Islamabad or Lahore?
You know what? Food is good everywhere. It's I haven't found a place where I say, it doesn't look good. Every place I go is like, oh, that looks interesting, or that looks good, or I want to try that.
Nice.
So it's been a pretty positive experience.
Yeah, and since you're Mexican, I'm sure the spiciness is not a problem.
No, bring on the spicy.
Is that spicy?
No.
No? It was supposed to be the spiciest thing
on the
menu.
Well, good try, Pakistan.
All right. But traveling on a motorbike all over the world can't be easy always. What would you say have been the most challenging moments that you've had? Yeah,
so road tripping across the world is difficult. The hardest part for me, since I choose a motorcycle, is just what I can carry with me.
Yeah.
Usually it's only 5 pairs of underwear, 5 pairs of socks, 1 big jacket, and a helmet. But then, 15 kilos is, a drone, it's camera gear, it's lenses, it's batteries, it's charging. So the most difficult part is just having everything I need to document a journey and an adventure. Everything else is easy. The roads, the conditions, the weather, sometimes difficult, but yeah, the hardest part is just not being too lazy and getting the tripod, putting the camera, taking the right picture, and really making it look great for social media and for videos on YouTube.
And have you been in any dangerous, scary situation anywhere?
Oh yeah, so I've been traveling for 7 years. I've been to 70 countries, 6 continents, and yes, I've come across a lot of not so fun experiences. Would you like me to name a few?
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, okay, where do I start? I got very sick with parasites one time here in India, funny enough, and I lost 20 kg of weight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I looked like a skeleton. It was pretty intense. I was with a friend who got appendicitis in the middle of Peru in the mountains, so there was no hospital to take him at. So we had to do some emergency procedures for him to save his life.
And how do you even like arrange all your trips? Like you're going like through one country and then you need to have like all your visas arranged in advance before you embark on a journey, or?
So I love doing everything. I love having everything ready to go, hotels, locations, flights, ready to go, and I arrive and everything's done. But sometimes I love just saying one-way ticket and I'll figure it out when I arrive.
Right.
I get on my phone, I look for the place that evening, I talk to people, I stay with people I meet on the street. Every adventure is different.
How did you do it with Pakistan then?
So Pakistan was a bit of both. First was getting here because the visa situation needs to be planned. So getting that planned, I did a tour with, again, CPIC, who's a private investment company who brought me here to promote tourism. And then after I finished the tour, I stayed an additional 14 days after by myself, and that was just jumping on the phone and being like, oh, this place looks nice, let's go here, let's go there, let's make it happen. I'll find somebody, found someone. So just it was half and half, so I got to experience everything. I was only missing hitchhiking. I haven't tried that yet.
Okay.
But I heard it's fairly easy up north.
All right, so maybe for your next trip
Next trip adventure, yes.
I'm sure you'll get some interesting stories from that. So you also like to get involved in some volunteer work when you go to new countries. What kind of projects have you been involved in?
Yeah, in the past I've been involved in some community service projects. I used to raise money for charities in my blog.
Okay.
My website also used to raise money for a few different charities. And then what I used to do in the past as well is I used to go to different places and volunteer personally myself.
Wow.
And just kind of showcase to people online, you know, what it is to volunteer, what people can do. So yeah, it was a bit of everything.
Yeah. And what inspired you to do this?
I don't know. It was a different way of traveling for me back then.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to just experience life and travel in a different way.
Exactly.
And I thought how great would it be not only just to see the world, but connect with the world and those that are a little less privileged than the rest of us.
And what would you say has been your most rewarding experience?
You know, I volunteered in Guatemala at a church, and it was working with children who were physically and mentally disabled. And you know, just being able to spend a few hours with these kids and these people just really was very humbling, and it kind of reminds you to be humble and not forget that there's other people out there who are, you know, going through a lot more difficult challenges than you are. So that was nice to experience, and it was wonderful to showcase to the internet and to my followers and everybody on social media doing that.
Are you planning on doing anything similar here in Pakistan? Yeah,
you know, I'm so busy now. It's hard to do a lot of social work nowadays. But yeah, you know, coming in the future, next time I visit Pakistan, I think that'd be something very nice to do.
Yeah. How do you find out about these projects? Like, how do you figure out which project to get involved in? And
I usually choose the projects that are like close to my heart, that are just I feel passionate about. Like usually it's like health related, because I'm part of the, you know, I used to be a doctor, so something related to the health field, or some, you know, with diseases of some sort, or things that are close to me, which is you know, lack of education. So I just kind of research online a bit. I kind of see what's available, and I kind of see what's typically an easier option to get into. because some people require you to get certifications, and it gets very complicated,
Right.
and that deters people from doing that. So I try to choose the ones that are easy to get into, and the ones that kind of give you back and the community back a lot more.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the case anymore, but like at least like let's say 10 years ago, it used to be actually quite expensive to do volunteer work. Like you had to pay a lot of money to be able to work
See,
for free.
that's the misconception around the world, is that it's becoming a business to help people, and I've always argued against it.
Yeah.
Because you say, well, what do you call it? A vacation where you're working with others, and you end up paying as a foreigner between $2,000 and $5,000 for a week, and you end up working at these clinics and these hospitals and these orphanages, and you don't really know where that money goes to.
Exactly.
And that's the most sad, not the most difficult part about doing it, is you have to find the right organizations that, if you choose to do that, which is fine, you just got to know where the money's going and who's handling it, because you don't people just pay it and you don't really know what's happening. So I like to do the ones that are no cost. I usually just show up somewhere, and sometimes it's giving kids an audio-visual lesson. Sometimes it's just teaching English to random kids on the street. Sometimes it's doing it in a school setting, or doing public speaking in bigger areas. Or even helping people at the church, you know.
And I'm sure that adds so much to your travel experiences as well, because then you get to interact with people a lot more, maybe.
It's a different interaction, yeah. Because you're not there for tourism, you're there for people.
Exactly.
You know, and people. And the best thing about it is that it works with everything that I do online, because people online want to know about people. People want to know how other people, you know, it's just like Hollywood or movies, you know, people just like to see what's happening with other people. And it's the same thing in life. It's whether, you know, a little kid got his education today, or whether they got a book that you sent them, or the money you sent was given to the right people in the community. So people like connecting with people.
Yeah. So you've obviously really enjoyed your experience in Pakistan. Do you think it's going to make it to your top 5 or even top 10?
You know, it's already a top 3.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
really?
So hopefully it'll climb to the top 2 or 1.
Wow. And what's the other 2 countries?
So it's different. You know, Pakistan definitely for the people, and then I have the craziest off-road, beautiful scenery for me was Bolivia in South America.
Really?
And number 1, I can't say, because I don't want to give favorites.
Okay.
But yeah, no, every place is so different and gives you something so much. It gives you something different from the other place. Again, it's like having 10 kids. You love them differently.
Exactly. All right. And what have been your favorite memories from all your trips all over the world?
Oh, that's, 7 years, 70 countries. There's a great video right now on my YouTube where it's 7-year highlight video. So if you want to see all the best places, head on over to the YouTube and you'll see all of it. But I think some of the most memorable have been the world's largest salt flat in Bolivia during the wet season. It's like the world's largest mirror. It's an incredible experience.
Wow.
The Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights in Alaska.
Okay.
Driving the motorcycle through the Himalayas, through Kashmir and through that section, and Nepal as well. Then you have the incredible culinary cuisine of Peru. You have the ancient history and culture of Europe. And then also trekking across the Sahara Desert in Egypt.
Where are you going after Pakistan?
So after Pakistan, I go to the neighboring country of India.
Okay, back
to
India.
Yes, back to India. So, I like to go back and forth. I think the best thing in my position is I have getting now a big Pakistan audience, and I already have a good India audience. And as I'm sharing everything from Pakistan, the Indian people are going like, oh, so this is Pakistan. It's not what I thought I saw in the news. It's actually fine. You're safe. You're doing this. And then the Pakistanis are looking at my India content and they're going like, oh, this is India and this is fine. This is safe. So it's wonderful that our younger generation is kind of seeing through all that haze and cloudy perception in that media coverage that isn't exactly, in my opinion, as truthful as it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure when people find out, like in India, when they find out you've been to Pakistan, they have a lot of questions for you, I'm sure, about Pakistan.
What's funny is I get the same questions from the Indians as the Pakistanis about the other one another, Yeah. And I say, you're pretty much
the same.
alike. The same, the language, the culture, the people. Your mom also grabs the coat hanger and hits you with it when you're not paying attention or doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's so similar, and that's what people are noticing through my audience and my subscribers to my YouTube and websites. They're like, wow, okay, we get it. That's really cool. So it's nice people are open-minded enough to see past just the political agendas going on.
Yeah. How long do you think you'll continue doing this still? Is it like a lifelong thing, or do you think you'll have to settle down somewhere at some point?
You know, if you ask a musician, they ask him, how long will you be a musician? And they're like, I've always been and I will always be. And, you know, I will not always be a filmmaker, I will not always be a photographer, but I will always be somebody who is a traveler, somebody who will always want to connect with people and experiences and have those and share those in some way. So I was always this type of person when I was a little kid, and I will be this type of person until the day I die.
Okay, then it's time for our rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Let's do it. I love the sparkly cards, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, shalwar kameez or jeans?
Neither.
Okay.
Didn't expect that answer.
Wow, Lahore or Karachi?
Karachi.
Why?
I just spent more time there.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I spent more time in Lahore, I would say Lahore.
Interesting. Nachos or pakoras?
Gonna go with nachos.
Fair enough.
Close to the heart.
Princess of Hope or the Pyramids of Giza?
Pyramids of Giza took a lot of it took a lot of man hours and effort to make, I think.
Okay. South America or South Asia?
South America, for sure.
Swat or Switzerland?
Ooh, I've never been to Switzerland, so I'm
Okay.
gonna say Swat.
All right, great. Chicken biryani or dal?
Chicken biryani.
Niagara Falls or Iguazu Falls?
Iguazu Falls, definitely. World's biggest waterfalls.
Perfect. What comes to your mind when I say the walled city of Lahore?
I would say markets, commotion, and energy.
Great. Truck art?
Truck art? Oh, you like the trucks? Audacious and fantastic.
Great. Rickshaws?
The best time you'll have.
Pakistani roads?
The most adventurous moment of your day.
Okay. The best thing about Pakistan?
The energy and the camaraderie within the people.
Great. And then it is time for you to sign our visitor's book.
Honored to do so.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see what you wrote. Acha hai Pakistan. Thank you. A wonderful visit. See you soon again. Shukriya. Great. Thank you so much for being on the show. And
Thanks for
I
having me.
do hope you come back and continue your adventures here. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Apse merke khushi hoyi.
Thank you. Well, that's it for today. Please join me again next week. And don't forget to follow us on our social media handles at indus.news. Goodbye.